Welcome to this week's edition of ATB-TV, and no human special guest this week, but we've got a special star thoroughbred down here having a pick to eat. Dandino, you're going to have a chat to us, mate? Obviously, I think he deserves a treat, extra bit of hay. Not sure we got this if he was still racing, but he well and truly deserves it now that he's in retirement mode. So I'll pop that there. Hopefully the boy behind us might be able to give us a tip or two as we lead into Ballarat Cup week and what generally is known as the end of the Spring Carnival. Firstly, apologies last week. I missed 2 or 3 runners from the Ararat meeting. To all you owners out there, sorry. We had a race coming up when I was interviewing Darren Weir at Swan Hill, and in my haste I skipped him. That was Reigning Meteor, who finished 4th in a fair first up run. Damien thought that there may have been some small issues with him. He just didn't feel himself, but Matty was able to bring him up to the vets here at Ballarat during the week, and he trotted up fine. There was no issues at all. So we see him running around on Ballarat Cup Day. So hopefully that run blew the cobwebs out, and he's right to go in the 3 and 4-year-old Magic Millions race on Saturday. Long time, she finished 2nd. That was a good run behind a Smart Horses in Judges. Obviously she was racing after pulling up with the thumps at Bendigo, so that was a promising effort, and she also goes around on Saturday, so hopefully that'll clean her out and she's right to go in the 1200 metre race at the Ballarat Cup Carnival. And the other one was Lindendale. Well, we just put a line through that run. You've all seen the race, so whether you come down to bit of interference or jockey error or horse playing up, it was a run we just put a line through. She will go to Bendigo next Wednesday in a 1200 metre benchmark 64 race. I think Weary's probably just given a little bit of time to get over that run, and she'll shape up next week. Back to Swan Hill, we had Chloe Anna. I think we cut the vision just before her race. Well, she ran 3rd. It was probably a little bit plain. The speed was put on for her to finish better than she did. Dean got off and said she felt a bit flat. She's beaten 4 or 5 lengths behind a horse that we actually, ATB, used to race in Lethal Arrow. But look, she progresses to the Ballarat Cup meeting over 2300, so hopefully that run might have tightened her right up now, and there'd be no fitness excuses if that was maybe an issue last time. Back to last Friday at Moonee Valley, we had Princess Hussey, her first try over 2000, and she ran terrifically well. Beat by stablemate First Bloom. She got the line really strongly. Brad rode her real well. Yeah, it was promising. It gives us a little bit more scope to find races for her now in that mare's grade. I'm not too sure what's coming up for her, but the stable indications where they're going to find a similar race for her in the next week or 10 days. That covered the runners. We had a really light week. No runners until tomorrow at Kyneton. We have the Last Angel. She's been round about in her last 2 or 3 runs without winning. She's finding it a little bit hard to win, but tomorrow's race, if anything, is a little bit easier than her previous run. So from the good gate, a bit of pace on. Hopefully she can run into the money, if not win. Dean Yendall takes a ride there. Move on to Friday night, and we go to the Valley. As you can see, the flies are annoying the hell out of me here, but we'll get by. Intravenous and social media. Intravenous shapes up in a similar race to what she ran 4th in a fortnight ago before the Derby 1600 metre mares race, and look, she takes benefit from that last run. From the good gate with Michelle riding, she should figure in the finish. We also had social media in a 1200 metre race. Now, she over-raced a little bit at Geelong at her previous start over 1400, but the drop back to 1200 metres around the Valley, a track that should suit her style of racing on the pace. I would think she's got a nice each-way chance there on Friday night. Ballarat Cup Day. Busy day for ATB. We have 6 runners, 3 from the Weir stable and 3 from Matthew Williams' stable. I'll tick off Matty's horses first. We have Clairvaux, first up in a benchmark 84 over 1400. Normally you'd say with a stayer like him that he might take 2 or 3 runs to hit his peak, but This chap has very good first up form, and over the 1400, don't be surprised if he runs some sort of race. He'll obviously get back. He's a man mountain of a horse, and if he gets, well, obviously we've got to wait and see what the track's playing like. But if it's a run on track, he'll be some sort of chance there at good odds. Ticket to Toorak, he's second up. We all know what happened first up at the Valley from gate 1. He had no luck whatsoever and basically went to the line. Hard held, untouched, should not have that problem this week in the 1100 metre race. Damien Thornton again takes a ride, and from gate 3 he should be able to posse up one off in the running line, and hopefully if he's up on the pace can sort of run a good race and finish off in the mud, if not win. Maddie's other runner is Raining Meteor. We just mentioned him with that arrow run. Second up, 1100 metres, 3 and 4-year-old Magic Millions race worth 100,000. So it's a race that Matthew's targeted. Hopefully he's derived, and he should have derived benefit from that first up run. Damien Thornton takes a ride, and look, from gate 7 should be able to posse up in the front half of the field, and if the breaks go his way, hopefully we can see him figuring well in the money. Also, we move on to Darren Weir's runners now. Weary has 3 running there for us, and they are Long Time. We mentioned her run at Ararat when she ran second. She'll take benefit from that. The gate's a little tricky with Dean Yandelon, barrier 11, but she'll probably settle back anyway. Hopefully, like I said before, if it's a run-on day, we'll hopefully see her steaming home over the 1200. Chloe Anna, we mentioned her, she's in the 2300 metre race. Barrier 8, the gate won't matter there. Dean will hopefully just posi her so she's comfortable in the run, and just hope that she's taken benefit from the Swan Hill run. She should be at her absolute peak fitness now, and it'd be great to see her running well. The other runner is Broadbane First, stepping out to 1400, was very good at the Valley in a nice race where Les Darcy won the race. It was a blanket finish. There's only about a length between the 4 of them. A little bit keen during the run, so just hopefully over the 1400 that Michelle can get him to settle and then finish off, and hopefully we can find a winner with either him or the other 5 runners we have there. Also on Saturday we ventured to Rose Hill, where the very smart Ware Shaw is stepping out second up. Obviously Dandino approves. Obviously it was a brilliant win first up. No hope of winning at the 200 metre mark, no hope of winning at the 100, and then the last 50 just found 2 or 3 lengths to blouse them on the line. So you would think benefit from that run, 1400 metre trip. The Snowdens have given him 3 weeks to get over that run. We're known to cost him back on. Posse up in front of the TV, and let's hope we can see a similar performance to what looks to be a very, very smart horse in the making, galloper in the making. That covers Saturday. Sunday we head to Kilmore. We have Shiny Lass in the 1600 metre maiden with Dean Yendall on board. Barrier 11, a bit sticky around Kilmore, but hopefully if we can get a nice run in transit, we can see her running on. Also Tintaglia is in the 1900 metre race there, and Harry Coffey takes a ride. We're down at Cranbourne for that race where she finished 5th or 6th. The track was a slow 6, and Jai McNeil and Peter Ellis, Weary's track walker, reported that the track was pretty sticky. She didn't seem to handle it. She didn't let down at all. She travelled nicely in the run, but when the pressure was on, she was found wanting. So hopefully that's the reason why. With not much rain on the radar, hopefully Kilmore's a good track, and we see the real Tintaglia on Sunday. Monday we move to Warrnambool. Debutant from the Weir stable in Escape the Rain. Has been trialling up nicely, and Weir has picked out a 1200 metre maiden to kick off career. And look, I'm not too sure how much to expect first up, but obviously we'd like to see something, positive run so we can push forward and hopefully snare a win not too long down the track with Escape the Rain, if not on Monday. Push forward to next week, and we've got Bendigo where 3 runners will be nominated to run there, and hopefully all run. We've got Lindendam and Chaotica in the 1400 metre benchmark 64. Obviously Linden Doom had that run at Arrow where we just forget about, so yeah, we'll get her running there, and hopefully the big track and out of trouble, we'll see her real ability. And the same with Coatika, who was pretty disappointing at Swan Hill, but might be a couple of gear changes there, and again back on the big track, third up. Fitness level should be right up, and hopefully we see her run well run there and run well as well. And My Obsession will also be there. If I just check, a benchmark 70 1300 metre race, yeah, and again she should be reaching her fitness levels, and I expect her to run well as well. Our boy's pretty happy with this Tucker. He's well and truly had a bit of a nibble. That's about it now. Darren and Liz have been over at New Zealand to the Ready to Run sale and have purchased a Master Craftsman 2-year-old colt, a grey colt. We'll have more in the newsletter regarding that and prices, and yeah, there's been a fair bit of interest in him already. So when that comes out in the next 24 hours, if you're interested, I would say I'd get on the phone very quickly, because this colt will sell quickly. He's to be trained here by Darren Weir, so we've got the Melbourne Cup winning trainer training a potential stayer, so it's not a bad little mix. Alright, from me and the flies and the great Dandino, I'll give you one more pick of Tucker. We'll say goodbye for now. I'm not going to give you a best bet this week. Form's been horrible, unlike Dandino's form, who has a win beside his name at his last start. I've got about 4 zeros. So we'll leave it at that. Have a great weekend. All the best if you're going to the Ballarat Cup, and more so, all the best if you've got an ATB runner. Here I am in the Darren Weir Racing office, and I've caught up with Simon McCartan. Simon's the assistant racing manager to Jeremy Rogers, and more important parts of the racing aspect is getting your horses to the races and the nominations and acceptances factor. Firstly, welcome Simon.
Thanks, Pete.
We obviously we get the horses to the stage where they're ready to race, mate, and then we need to find races for them. The liaison between you and obviously Darren Weir, the trainer, what's the first process? Obviously we both had them trial up, and then Darren goes, this one's ready for the races. Does he say pick out a race, or has he got things in mind, or how's it all work?
Yeah, so basically, yeah, after the jump out stage, he'll just say, he'll look at the horse going across the line, and he'll say, yep, that thing needs 1200 metres, 1300 metres, and depending on if they're a maiden or a benchmark horse, we'll look up their rating and place them accordingly. So Darren he'll pick all the distances and that sort of stuff, yep. And then we'll run by, we'll pick out a venue somewhere, a rating race or a maiden, and then Darren has the final say if that's the right race.
Right. Obviously, with Super Vobis and Vobis, all those come into it with different horses as well.
Yeah, for sure. Darren's, he's amazing that he understands most horses. What if they're a Super Vobis or Vobis Gold horse, and he'll say to you, make sure you find a Vobis race, or alternatively, if they're not a Vobis horse, they'll just go to a standard maiden. Yeah,
and obviously we have there's a gap between nominations and acceptances. There can be certain things where we might be right to go with a horse, but then for various reasons Darren might pull up, whether it's an illness or injury, or he's just not quite happy with it. We have those occurrences too.
Yeah, for sure. So we're probably, nominations are free, so we probably err on the side of nominating them rather than leaving them out when you can't do anything about it. So Jeremy and I will sometimes stick horses in races that Darren just says put them in, but he might feel he might be better off waiting another 5 days or something for a race next week. Sometimes they miss out on runs as well, if they're down in the ratings, or if they're a maiden horse who hasn't placed or anything like that. We might accept with the horse, but if there's a maximum capacity field and their rating's not high enough, then they don't get a run as well.
Right. Any philosophies with obviously we get multiple nominations, and then we may end up with multiple acceptances. For example, you got 2 or 3 horses that are probably prime, ready to win. Is Darren just happy to go with them all in the one race, or will you maybe look a couple of days down the track if you can split them? Yeah,
he definitely tries to avoid his other runners, so he'll try and separate them as much as he can.
Yep.
Obviously, you get to the stage where it's unavoidable, where particularly when they get up in the ratings around your 70s and a bit higher, If you've got a horse looking for a benchmark 70 over 2,000, it gets difficult. There's not that many races on, so sometimes it's unavoidable. But Darren does his best to sort of only have a couple at max in a race. But sometimes, you might have your three in it. So
I suppose there's a lot of times too with the shorter distance races. You may have stayers resuming horses in the right distance, ready to go. So it's not so much of a problem.
It can be like that as well. So. It seems to work out okay, but it can be sort of hard to juggle sometimes.
With the acceptances, there's obviously cut-off times that generally, obviously before middays on those days. Could get a bit tight there at different times. Like with you and Jez, you both got the finger on the button there when it's time to go?
Yeah, got all the alarms set so through the morning. So I guess first things the scratchings at 7 o'clock and get them in before 7:30. And then it's a matter of going through the weights and the order of entries and getting the acceptances. They usually start at 9. If there's multiple meetings, it might be 9, quarter past, and then 9:30.
Wednesday's obviously a busy day with the weekend.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, with your Metropolitans on a Saturday and your Fridays as well. And Thursdays as well, because it's usually a provincial Saturday meeting, Sunday and Monday. So, and then after your acceptances are done, I guess then you're looking at your noms for the 12 o'clock deadline for the next week. So,
and obviously then all your pre-race reports, they're another aspect that would be very time consuming, I imagine.
Probably one of the more time consuming things, the pre-race reports, going through all the fields and I guess the standard structure is we do a bit of a speed map, a bit on the horse, how the horse is going, what we expect from the horse, and then finally maybe the hardest to beat. So doing one of those for every horse, say take Saturday for example, 17 runners, it does take a bit of time, and then I guess after that you've got your post-race and follow-ups.
Another important one is obviously the juggling of jockeys. Well, we've got such a big stable here, and obviously there's certain riders that probably command a little bit more attention in terms of getting them on our horses, but that can become a bit of a juggling act. Yeah,
definitely. That is that's another fairly time-consuming thing. Jez sort of looks after most of that, but with him in New Zealand this week, I've had to do that a fair bit. It can be tough, sort of trying to. You don't want to send a jockey for one ride if that's their only ride of the day up north somewhere and things like that. So you try and work in with both the jockey and obviously what Darren wants. So that is a bit of a juggling act, but luckily we've got some great jockeys to sort of select from, and they give us a hand in the jump out, so we try and reward them as much as we can.
Very good. Well, that probably covers it all. Hopefully for you owners out there that sometimes become a little impatient. I think that's part of the pedigree of an owner. We do become impatient, but it's not all, especially for the bigger stables, so easy to actually get it all, the jigsaw pieces to fall into place. So if that can just help you a little understanding with horses that may have to wait 2 or 3 days or another week to get a run, Simon's covered most of the areas, and thanks for that, Simon.
No worries at all.
Let's head over to Ballarat Cup Day on Sunday, and some of those 7A runners hopefully can turn into winners.
Yeah, let's hope so. It should be a good day.
Thanks, Simon.
No worries, Pete.